He was the strongest man who ever lived, chosen by God, set apart before birth. He tore lions apart with his bare hands, crushed armies, and carried city gates on his shoulders. But it wasn't his enemies who brought him down. It was his own weakness, his desires, his disobedience. This is not just a story of strength. It's a story of how a man who had everything from God almost lost it all. A story of falling and rising again. Welcome to Voice of Moses. You're watching Voice of Moses. We follow the rise, fall, and redemption of a man unlike any other, Samson. Israel was suffering. The Philistines ruled over them for 40 years, but God was preparing a savior, not with an army, but through a barren woman. An angel appeared to her and said, "You will have a son. He will be a Nazirite, set apart for God. He will begin to deliver Israel from the Philistines." This boy was to never cut his hair, drink wine, or touch anything unclean. His name would be Samson. Samson grew, and the Spirit of the Lord began to stir in him. One day, as he walked to Timnah to meet a Philistine woman, a lion jumped out at him. But the Spirit of God rushed upon him, and Samson tore the lion apart with his bare hands. It was the first sign. Samson's strength came not from muscles, but from God. Samson wanted to marry the Philistine woman. At the wedding feast, he gave the guests a riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. They couldn't solve it, so they threatened his bride. She begged Samson for the answer, and finally he gave in. She betrayed him and told the riddle's answer to the guests. Samson, in fury, killed 30 Philistines and left the wedding in rage. When he returned later, Samson found that his wife had been given to another man. In anger, he tied torches to 300 foxes and set them loose in the Philistines' fields. They lost their harvests, wheat, vineyards, and olive trees. In revenge, the Philistines killed Samson's wife and her father, and Samson struck them down in return. The Philistines sent soldiers to capture him. Even Samson's own people handed him over, afraid of the enemy. But as he stood before the Philistines, the Spirit of the Lord came upon him again. He broke the ropes and picked up a donkey's jawbone. With it, he killed 1,000 men. Samson judged Israel for 20 years, but over time, he started to drift from God. He visited a prostitute in Gaza. The Philistines tried to trap him, but he escaped, ripping the city gates from their foundations. Then he fell in love with a woman named Delilah. Philistine leaders offered Delilah money to discover the secret of Samson's strength. She asked again and again. Samson lied at first, but she kept pressing, day after day. Finally, he broke. "If my hair is cut," he said, "I will become as weak as any other man." That night, while he slept, Delilah had his hair cut. The Lord's Spirit left him. His strength was gone. The Philistines captured him, and gouged out his eyes. Blind and broken, Samson was thrown into prison. They chained him and made him grind grain like a slave. But slowly, his hair began to grow again. The Philistines held a great feast in their temple to celebrate their god Dagon. They brought out Samson to mock him. He asked the servant to place him between the two main pillars. Then Samson prayed, "Lord, remember me. Give me strength one more time, so I may bring justice for my eyes." With all his strength, Samson pushed the pillars apart. The temple shook. "Let me die with the Philistines." The entire building collapsed, killing everyone inside. Over 3,000 Philistines died that day, including their rulers. Samson died too, but in his death, he defeated more enemies than in his life. Samson was not perfect. He made many mistakes. He fell hard, but God still used him. Even in his final moment, God gave him the strength to fulfill his purpose. If Samson's story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Voice of Moses. Every view helps us spread the message of faith, hope, and redemption. God bless you. See you in the next story.